Boys, I've been up since 4 a.m., so I can confidently say that two things are cooking right now: the game and my brain. This is all facts. There's so many good things to get to, so I do not want to waste any time. It's not 100%. I will say there are a couple of things wrong with the update. It's definitely not perfect, but it's so damn close. This is absolutely one of the best updates of all time. Huge changes, huge buffs, rewards, etc. And I think we have not even seen the full picture. I think we still have to see the updated event quest. I think we still have to see updated rewards in other places and what the gameplay in Conquest feels like. But I'm very excited, and I think the future of this game looks a lot brighter after today's patch. So let's dive in to some undocumented changes for the better. So first off, we have the Alliance store. You want to be donating as many tokens as possible. This is my recommendation to you. You can see I have 3,000 tokens. You want as many as possible because now, for the first time ever in the store, you have, of course, all the regular rewards are still there. The rewards that had been there for a few days are gone because they are only pre-update rewards that you can buy just for the pre-update setup and sort of build up. It's the boost points, the XP, the uniform XP chips, the hidden tickets, that sort of stuff. That's obviously going to rotate in every month. But if you scroll to the right, you will now see after the biometrics, you have a weekly limit. Look at this, 150 CCF. That's a lot of CCF, folks. Now, if you're grinding out Null 5 times a day or any other World Boss Legend, that's not a lot of. That's like 2 days worth of CCF. But if you're still trying to build up to your first, tier 4, or your first whatever level 80 that can crush World Boss Legend, if you're not in World Boss Legend yet, this is humongous. This is absolutely massive. 250 Essence of Dimension, 250 Titan component packs. You can buy each one once a week. Now it's gonna be tough to build up 900 tokens in a week, every week, but we'll talk about how we can get around that because there are ways. Then you have Awakening materials. Then you have Tier 4 materials. Ladies and gentlemen, you can buy 200 Carbo every week now from Alliance Store. That's fantastic. And again, you're probably scratching your head like, I donate 100 and it gives me, I donate 1,000,000 gold and it gives me 100 tokens. So I can only get 700 tokens a week. Where am I supposed to come up with the other 1,100 tokens? Well, we will talk about that. The next thing I want to mention here is the token event that is going to be coming up. So the cat is out of the bag. They saw, I guess, or maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they, whatever, the leaks for Psylocke. And so they decided, you know what, we're just going to name the token event after Psylocke. So there you go. The Fun Summer token, which, wink, wink, is going to be the seasonal token, where you're going to be able to spend these fun tokens to get the new Psylocke uniform, because it's called Psylocke's Thrilling Summer Token Shop. You'll also be able to get the very old Silk Premium Uniform, Premium Summer Uniform, the very old Enchantress Uniform if you want, the newer Luna Snow Uniform if you would like, the Storm Uniform as well. So all of those will come back. This is going to be in 2 weeks. There's also going to be, Cable's Summer Uniform, Iceman, all those other ones, right? Mysterio, some good ones in there. But yeah, so the cat's out of the bag there. It's definitely going to be Psylocke. So Psylocke is probably going to be the mid-month tier 4. She's going to be the premium uniform. So if you don't have her epic quest, or deluxe pack, I should say, and you want to get that, you should jump on that while you can, because, it's going to be here. It's going to appear in 2 weeks. It'll be there for 2 weeks, and then it'll be gone for a year. So yeah, kind of a FOMO thing. We have the token event also for Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not in the game yet, but it will be coming up soon. And this is the big one to keep an eye on because they said that they've revamped the rewards. So, if you're going to be able to choose everything rather than having to split your choice, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, I usually don't like talking about sales in the game this early in First Impressions video, but I gotta say, the devs cooked so damn hard. There's a new tab here called Update Hot Deals. And for once, they're not exaggerating. These deals are insane. I know it's only for paying players. I know free-to-play players can't access this, but I gotta tell you, $28 for 100 million gold and 2,200 crystals. Like 2,200 crystals for $28 is not that bad. It's pretty competitive. It's not Stark Stash good, but nothing is. And then you get 100 million gold as a bonus. And then you also get 100% gold acquisition. So it doubles how much gold you can farm for the next 3 weeks. I don't even need the gold, and I'm so tempted to buy this. I almost want to buy it. It's actually crazy. It's an insane. It's like that's a 10 out of 10 deal. Whatever. It's a 9 out of 10 deal. These ones here are not bad at all, bro. These ones are not bad at all. 2,300 carbo, 500 crystals, and 2 million gold. That's not bad at all. These ones a little bit worse, but honestly not terrible. And then this one, the Hot Deal Custom Gear Unequip Pack. I have to say, Marvel Future Fight devs, this could not come at a better time for me. I have to get on a plane in a few days to go on vacation, so I'm gonna have to make a shit ton of videos. You know what is really helpful to make a shit ton of videos? Being able to buy this pack for $11 Canadian and being able to unequip as many CTPs as I want, as many times as I want. Oh, what's that, Alex? You don't want to test your Dr. Doom with a Brilliant Conquest? You want to test him with a Brilliant Greed? Okay, it costs 0. Oh, I'm going to equip my Brilliant Greed now. Uh-oh, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to do the Brilliant Greed. I meant to do a regular Greed. Oh, let me unequip that for 0 crystals. Let me go ahead and equip this regular Greed. Oops, I made another mistake. I unequipped the regular Greed for 0 crystals. And it goes on and on and on. All I have to make sure is that I don't accidentally overwrite any of the CTPs by equipping over them with another one. But that's user error. So I gotta say, it's a 24-hour activation. So you can see I already activated it at the beginning of the stream. I only have 19 hours left. As soon as you click acquire, so when you buy the pack, it prompts you to either acquire or put it in your inbox. Once you hit acquire, it activates automatically. So be careful if you didn't want to activate it automatically. But you can buy 2 of these per month. Or whatever, 2 of these per rotation. I'm going to be buying this forever. I would buy this if it costs 2 times as much. I would probably buy this if it cost 3 times as much. The amount of flexibility that it gives me as a content creator to try new things is just mind-blowing. As a content creator, this is probably one of the best changes they've ever made to the game, and it's not even a free change. This is up there with like World Boss practice mode as one of the greatest changes. But even for non-content creators, because I can acknowledge that there's a heavy skew in the value for content creators, absolutely. But even for regular players, you have to spend 1,500 crystals, which is only discounted to 750. You still have to spend 750 crystals to move a brilliant CTP when it's a 50% unequip event. And those happen monthly. So the 750 crystals cost you about $10. There you go. There's the price right there. That's for 1 CTP. I get to move infinite CTPs. So for those players who are like medium spenders, even if you're not a whale, I think it would be really fun once in a while, once a year maybe, to just be like, you know what? I have a weekend coming up where I have to be indoors because of a storm or because of some whatever. I'm under house arrest or whatever. I have diarrhea. It's not like you're planning to have diarrhea, but hear me out, right? Something happens and you're stuck in the house for a few days, whatever. You're stuck in a situation where you're just going to be on your phone the whole time. You're going to play Marvel Future Fight. I'm going to buy this pack and just screw around. What if you can do your own Marvel themed what if? Does Wolverine still have a transcendence? Yes, he does. God damn it. We did this on stream because why not? Because I can unequip as many CTPs as I want. So I was testing out, how does Wolverine do it tier 4 with a mighty CTP of Transcendence? And I can answer infinity more questions. How does Wolverine do in PvP with a mighty, Patience, right? I can go to Destroyer and something that I would have never otherwise done. And I can go and fetch his mighty Patience. And I can go and give it to Wolverine. This is hilarious. This alone, I know it's a paid pack, so it sucks for free-to-plays, but this alone gives me like 50 hours of enjoyment. Genuinely. It gives me shit tons of content, but it gives me genuine enjoyment just being able to screw around with no penalty. It's amazing. I gotta say, baby, they cooked so damn hard. It's crazy. It's so good. But they also buffed a couple of other existing packs. So again, I don't want to glaze them too hard on the paid stuff, but I do want to highlight that they're making these changes, and they are for the better, right? They are for the better for people who spend. And so I do want to highlight that. So another one here is the shield special support. So this always gets spammed when you go to dimension missions. It's super annoying. They have updated it. So now instead of only lasting 2 weeks, which means you have to buy it twice a month, it now lasts 21 days. So they actually increased its timer by 50%, which is really, really good. And they didn't update the price. They didn't make it more expensive. So that's really, really nice. So you can now buy this sort of like once a month, and it's active for 3 weeks, right? If that's something you want to do. Or you can buy it, let's say, twice or 3 times every 4 months, or whatever the math works out to. You get what I'm saying? But then they also, these daily chests that they give you for buying this pack, they've also updated them to now include tier 4 materials. So again, just like some nice quality of life reward, buffs for the spenders. Don't worry, guys. We talked about reward buffs for the free-to-plays and for the non-spenders, right? For the grinders. There's more to come, right? There's more to come. They also updated the world boss page. I believe this was in the patch notes, but it didn't jump out at me as a really cool thing. But if you go to any world boss now, you will see that there's these icons at the bottom, and the icons tell you at a glance what's going on. So you can see there's a team passive that's applying to everyone. You have Nick Furies and Shuris. You have no uniform effects that are applying to all allies, but if I go ahead and I swap out to somebody else, there you go. If I swap out to White Fox, now there is a uniform effect applying to everyone, which is White Fox's uniform effect. Then you have any other passives here. You can see the CTPs of Insight. You have the regular ones there, and then you also have like every effect just stacked up there, so you can see everything at a glance. This is really nice. Again, really nice quality of life thing. Not that I don't know how many people were asking for this, but I think this is very, very nice. As far as the shield event goes, that's activated right now, you do have the different pieces that you can farm from the different events, and I'll do a separate video on this. But the popcorn, you can get 5 of them right now from the notice tab, so make sure you pick those up. So basically half that, or not half that, it's 25 out of 25. But yeah, you get 1/5 right away from that event. And then you also have the new Timeline Survival with a really funny intro. I won't spoil it for you, but it involves Deadpool and Wolverine. And then you have the new Conquest rewards. I do want to talk about this as well because I think they're very good. We mentioned at the top of the video that the Alliance chest, the Alliance store, now has a bunch of weekly purchases that you can buy with Alliance tokens. Well, if you take a look at the participation, you only have to participate 5 times to get the maximum daily amount of tokens. So in regular Challenger, it's 50. In regular Conquest is 50. In Challenger Conquest, it's 100, which means you can farm an additional 300 tokens every week from the Conquest game mode. So you get 100 per day for 3 days because it's every 24 hours, which means you can farm 1,000 tokens, minimum 1,000 tokens every week just by donating and then by doing Conquest. You can also get additional tokens, sort of like a token video, by supporting people. So if you donate to someone, you can see there, you get 50 tokens, and you can do that, I believe, twice or 3 times a day. So that's an additional 100 or 150 tokens. So you can farm over 1,000 tokens a week. Now, again, that's not enough to necessarily buy that out every single week, but you also have to factor in, when you skip buying certain things, when there's double donation events so that you can donate more, because during the double donation events, I recommend to donate these mementos. I save them, but you can see you can donate 300 to get 20. I save them so that I can donate 300 to get 40, but then that adds up because then instead of donating 1,000,000 gold to get 100 tokens, you donate 1,000,000 to get 200 tokens. So then that doubles it to 1,400 a week, etc., etc., etc. So that's all quite good. In addition to that, they updated the Alliance Conquest chest. So you now have the contribution chest. It's still 30 attacks for the max chest, but as you can see now, the max chest includes all the CTPs, it includes emblem data, and it includes tier 4 materials. But what I want to highlight is for the non-challenger players. So if you're in normal Conquest, if you're just basically like a brand new player and you're just getting your feet wet, you get 1 attack in. Look at the chest. It's honestly not bad. Tier 2 materials and emblems, honestly not bad. Emblem data, right? That sort of tweaks up there to tier 3 materials. So you're already getting tier 3 materials from just 15 attacks. 20 attacks, you get even more. 25 attacks, you're getting tier 4 materials. So you don't even need to hit 30 attacks now to get tier 4 materials. And the other thing I want to highlight is there's not a lot of rewards here, which is good, which means the percentage chance of you getting a reward is higher. There's no bullshit like dimension debris, gear up kits, all this other nonsense being shoved in there just to dilute the drop pool. Look at that drop pool for the mythic rewards. I would be happy with almost anything, bro. maybe like, maybe Life Seed, but that depends on the player, right? So I think that these rewards are absolutely fantastic. And I haven't even talked about the characters. So let's talk about them. Deadpool, I think, is pretty interesting. I don't see a huge difference right now between the two uniforms for PvE. Of course, for PvP, this mask on uniform is better. I think PvP is the game mode where he's still going to shine. And again, that isn't helped by the fact that speed male heroes don't have a lot of content to shine in for PvE. However, I do want to point out that there is a possible bug with Deadpool. So I'm not 100% sure that his full leadership is applying, the handsome leadership is applying. I would encourage the devs to maybe look into that. And then the other thing is that his leadership gives you his leadership with the mask on for PvP specifically gives you 10 seconds of debuff cleanse with a 25-second cooldown. The issue with Deadpool is if you put him on a team with Wasp, if she's not the leader, if he is the leader to activate his leadership, then his leadership takes precedence over hers, even though her passive, Winsome Wasp, is a 20-second cooldown, 20 seconds of debuff cleanse on a 25-second cooldown. So Wasp's Wasp's debuff is essentially twice as good as Deadpool's, because it has the same cooldown, but it lasts 20 seconds instead of 10 seconds. But that means you can't take advantage of Deadpool's leadership at all. If you want Wasp's passive to work on Deadpool, you actually have to make Wasp the lead, or Colossus, or whoever else. But you cannot make Deadpool the lead, because if you make Deadpool the lead, then his leadership and the 10-second debuff cleanse overwrites Wasp's. I think that's a bug. I think that's an oversight, because most of the things in the game, it always just checks and compares the two numbers if they're equal. Like if they're the same types of numbers, it checks them and it just takes the higher value, right? Like if you have a character with penetration, but they also have a CTP of destruction, it just checks which penetration chance is higher and it just picks that one, right? It doesn't default to the lower one. That would be terrible. So I don't think this is supposed to be the case for Deadpool. It does affect his performance a little bit, I'll be honest, in PvP. So I do hope that they fix that. Because, some people, not everyone's going to run this team, obviously, but some people will, and you want them to get the most out of it, and you shouldn't get nerfed just because you want that 40-40 attack defense, right? Because I know Wasp does give attack and defense as well. It's not quite as good as Deadpool's, and you want this leadership to be somewhat worthwhile, somewhat useful, right? On Wolverine's side of things, I think it's pretty clear-cut now after further testing that this uniform is a little bit worse for PvP, but a lot better for PvE. So PvE enjoyers rejoice. This Wolverine is insane for PvE content. Absolutely nutty damage, very easy to play, very proc friendly, just overall a monster, but it can also use a rage. So really, really nice. But for those of you that were looking for a PvP buff, you actually can I think you can skip the uniform. I'll have more details for you later. I'll have a more extensive review later for you, but I just wanted to put that out there for you now. The main reason, if I have to explain quickly why the old uniform, the X of Deaths, is better for PvP, it basically comes down to the new uniform not having an iframe at all on the 4th skill. As you can see there, the 4th skill does not have the ignore targeting, and then the 3rd skill only has ignore targeting at the very end of the animation, which is kind of weird because the 3rd skill is exactly the same animation, so it might be an oversight by the devs. But if you see here, his 4th skill has ignore targeting on the old uniform. So that's really the big issue, is he has an extra iframe, which does protect him, helps him reduce damage, helps him reduce reflect, which the new uniform doesn't have. But the uniform makes up for it by being insane for PvE. Did I mention that? Yeah. And then last but not least, because I haven't touched on Cassandra just yet, we have Dr. Doom. Now, this is one of the bad eggs from the update. They didn't do enough for Doom. He doesn't feel any better. Like, they clearly did something because they added debuff cleanse to his 2nd skill, the removes all debuffs, but it's not enough. Doom still gets locked down, gets guard broken, gets bursted down, doesn't have enough damage, doesn't have enough defense. He seems to be lacking in both departments, and I say that confidently because I tested him with a brilliant Conquest, and I tested him with a brilliant Authority, and nothing worked, my friends. Nothing worked. So, yeah, they got to go back to the drawing board with Doom. Frankly, Deadpool seems better for PvP now than Doom. And I know it's Deadpool's update, so he should be good, but Doom shouldn't be that weak, right? Remember who Doom is. He's Dr. Doom, he's God Emperor, and he's the reward for finishing the Epic Quest. Deadpool is the Epic Quest character. Doom is the reward. Not for the Deadpool quest specifically, but I'm just trying to point out the difference between a Wolverine and a Jean Grey. right? You can feel the difference there. Wolverine's really good for one thing or the other. Jean Grey is good for everything. That's how it should feel for Doom. He should be good for everything. And right now for PvP, it's not. No, it's not. It's definitely not enough. They got to go back to the drawing board again. They got to try again. They got to give him, I think, like a stat bump. They got to do something like genuinely serious for Doom. They can't just give him like one line of text. They're going to need to come back with like a, 20% stat bump, something like that, basic stat bump, or, damage reduction, healing, like actual meaningful big buffs. And then a couple of bugs in the game that I wanted to cover here so that you guys are aware of them. The devs are also aware of them. I can't show you this one because I've bought all of the legendary battles, but the legendary battles right now, when you go to buy the extreme version, it prompts you to spend 6,600 crystals. That is a visual bug. When you actually press purchase, it only costs you 2,500 crystals. So just keep that in mind. It's a visual bug, but yes, it is showing 6,600 crystals. Another bug that's not visual, but actually just a bug, is Captain Marvel's artifact is applying to all allies. That is not what it's supposed to be doing. I mean, you can take advantage of it for the time being to get a crazy buff to other characters, but yeah, this is only supposed to apply to her. It's not a buff that's supposed to be intentional. Also, Nick Fury's artifact, for some reason, is applying to all allies instead of superhero allies. Again, not supposed to be happening, but it is. So if you want to take advantage of it, if there's some way for you to take advantage of it for the time being, you can. I don't know how you could take advantage of it, but yeah, that is the sort of downside to the update. Last thing I want to talk about is Cassandra. So you can get Cassandra if you want to pay right now by either getting a sub, I believe. If you get the X-Gene sub, you can get Cassandra. She's right there. She looks like Gore. Or you can get her in the Deadpool Immortal chests. And I just want to point this one out. Again, not to encourage you to spend, but just because there are Cassandra and Dazzler bios. So this is probably the most worthwhile version of this chest we've ever seen before. These chests were recently buffed by adding tier 4 materials. Now, if you check the odds, it's a very slim chance that you get tier 4 materials, but hey, it's there. So yeah, I would say try it if you want it. Otherwise, if you want to get Cassandra for free, she will be available 100% when these tokens are available. As soon as these tokens are available to farm, Cassandra will be in that event shop to be purchased for, I believe it's probably going to be 50 tokens for 5 bios, just like Sabretooth and other characters before her. Right now, we have the pre-update event shop here for the next few days. Don't miss out on these rewards that you can get by trading in your pre-event tokens. But this one will be replaced by the event shop that will include Cassandra. So yeah, that's everything I've been able to cover for this update without going into too much detail about the character performances in specific pieces of content. So yeah, I'm really happy. I have just a ton of content to go and test right now, so I actually have to go. Thank you so much for watching the video. Smash the like button if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.